welcome back to Ad America TV. Back with me, Maya Trainer. I'm one of the e-guides at Ad America, and we welcome our audience joining us online. We truly hope that you are doing well and staying safe amidst this outbreak. Well, anyway, for those of you who are first-timers here, hi, welcome to Ad America TV for the first time. Ad America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center. Our mission is to provide a space for young generations of Indonesia to learn more about the United States. We have temporarily moved to a solely digital platform so you can enjoy our program from the comfort of your own home and help flatten the curve of COVID-19. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comment box below, and our panelists will answer them later in the seminar. Now, today we are going to have a session titled Ayo Study in the US. But as per usual, before we begin, we are going to have a social media quiz. You ready? Okay, here we go. The question is it true or false that all American students go through 6 years of elementary school, 2 years of middle school, and 4 years of high school? I will repeat the question one more time. Listen carefully. Is it true or false that all American students go through 6 years of elementary school, 2 years of middle school, and 4 years of high school? You can participate this quiz through our social media comment section, and stay tuned till the end of this program to find out if you get the answers right. Now, here's an opening remarks from Ibu Emily Abraham.
Halo semua, saya Emily Abraham. Atas nama Kedutaan Besar Amerika Serikat di Jakarta, saya berharap Anda semua dan keluarga dalam keadaan sehat dan aman di masa yang tidak menentu ini. Thank you so much for joining us live on Ad America's virtual stage today. Cultural and educational exchanges have always been a priority for the United States, and they're an important part of our strategic partnership with Indonesia. So we're thrilled to have this space for continuing to gather with our friends, partners, and especially our exchange alumni, like the speakers you'll meet today. We started this program just before social distancing and COVID-19 entered our vocabularies, back in February and early March of this year. The format might be a little different, but the goal is the same: to connect young Southeast Asian leaders, or YCLEs for short, like all of you, with your peers across the country, across the region, and of course in the United States, to innovate together for a brighter future. Hundreds of U.S. exchange alumni are bringing their ideas, insights, discussion, art, and other programs to Indonesia's Ad America stage each year. So thank you to our panelists and our host today for helping us to introduce Ad America to new audiences, and most of all, for being part of the Keluarga Besar Alumni AS, giving back by sharing with your peers and with the classes that'll come behind you. I hope you all have some fun, learn something new, and are inspired to look out for the next opportunity to join in our programs, whether it's a course on resume writing or systems theory through the ULab, a YCLE program connecting young Southeast Asian leaders, or a big dream of studying abroad in the U.S. with the help of the Education USA advisors. Stay safe, everybody, and hope to see you again here soon. Da!
All right, so that was an opening remarks from Ibu Emily Abraham. Now, one more thing before we begin, please don't hesitate to take a selfie and share through your social media, and don't forget to tag us on Instagram at ATAmerica. And without further ado, please welcome our moderator for today, Fina Leonita, yes, Alumni 2017-2018.
Hi, thank you for introducing me. Good evening, everyone. How are you? I'm Fina Leonita, yes, Alumni 2017-2018, hosted in Florida, United States. I'm so happy that we can meet in this virtual event discussing the topic of studying in the USA. And also, today we have two American students who study about Indonesia as National Security Language Initiative for Youth, or NISILY students. They will present about daily life at their high school, their lives as a teenager in the United States, and how they are continuing to study during the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And at the end of this session, I will also share an Education USA to give the information how to get the updates about studying in the US from at USA. And also, for you guys who watching this streaming, please type your name and school in the comment section below. So I will say hello to you guys. And I want to say hello to the student from SMA Mondial Batam, SMA Unggulan Del Toba Samosir, SMA Pradipta Dirgantara Solo, SMA Santo Alius 1 Bandung, and SMA Santo Alius 2 Bandung. Also, if you guys want to ask a question to our Georgia speaker, feel free to type your question on the comment section below. And don't forget to mention about your name and about your school. Okay, without any further ado, I will also introduce you to our speaker today. First, we have Samuel Smith, student at Daviess County High School, Owensboro, Kentucky. He's an Illinois student, and fun fact, he chose Indonesia as his first language preference because he believed it is the perfect combination of exotic and accessibility. So Indonesia language, it's like exotic and accessibility. Hi Sam, how are you doing? Are you here?
Hello.
Okay, just say hi. And the second
Yes.
speaker is Zoey Chen, student at Center High School, Rochester, Minnesota. Also, fun fact about Zoey, she's also an ECLY student. And Zoey chose Indonesia as a topic in her World History class. That's right, Zoey. Hi, Zoey.
Hello.
Yeah. And so we will also hear about their presentation, about the experience. So make sure you guys ask the question because this is the great opportunity. And in there, fun fact, it's like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning. So it is really the special opportunity. You guys can say ask a question and they will special answer your guys' question. So we will also go to our first speaker, Sam. Sam, you're there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, cool. So how are you doing?
I am doing well. It's early in the morning, but I couldn't be happier to be here.
Yes. We also could be happy you guys give your time to share the experience. So please, Sam Smith.
Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can see the presentation. Cool.
Okay. Halo, nama saya Sam. Saya tinggal di Owensboro, Kentucky. Saya belajar bahasa Indonesia untuk 5 minggu. Uh, I before we get to the American high school experience, I just wanted to talk a little about where I'm from. Uh, I go to Davis County High School in the Western Kentucky. We are the biggest school in my area with around 1,400 students who attend class every day. My state, Kentucky, is famous for the Kentucky Derby, also known as the uh, most viewed 2 minutes in sports or the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. Uh, Now, this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over school sports, which are a big part of the American school culture. We're going to go over extracurricular activities, which is probably the best way to make friends in an American high school. Then we're going to go over AP classes, which are college courses taken at the high school level and would be a great representation of an introduction class at a university in America. Now on to sports. Sports are a big part of the American school culture. I am a swimmer, and I swim over 23 hours a week in the middle of my season. Many other athletes swim upwards of 30 hours. Big time commitments, lots of money put into it. Our school recently had a multi-million-dollar fund for a new football field, for example, uh, which leads us on to American football. This is probably the biggest or most popular high school sport. whether you're playing, and I know some of these players practice upwards of 35 hours a week just practicing. But it is very popular for the Friday night football game, which is the student section seen on the right hand side, where people will go cheer on your team for multiple hours, usually by the cheer team leading the discussion. Now on to swimming. This is my personal favorite sport. You can see me in all these pictures. Uh, I find that the social aspect of sports are a big thing. After a big meet, we all go and eat as a team and laugh, and just those hours that you spend together really make you grow. And I think like some of these people I am the bestest of friends with that I would not have been if I hadn't have swam. Uh, which I think it's a great experience. In baseball. I think this is kind of known as America's sport, America's pastime. Uh, this is a very big neighborhood game. You tend to see any kids from the age of 5 just playing it in their neighborhood in a little cul-de-sac, like just a little area, and it is just you know a very traditional sport in America. In America, lots of viewership, lots of love for it. Now on to extracurricular activities. We call these clubs in my school, but so yeah. Uh, the first one is drama club. This is a theater production. They put on my school drama club puts on 2 shows a year. Uh, 2 years ago, they put on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which was our most popular show that they've ever done. Drama club is great for outgoing students. It's a lot of fun. It's, the next activity is Model United Nations. This is the debate club in America. There's all sorts of them, but this is probably the most popular, at least in my region. Uh, it it is just about, sorry, it is about representing mock United Nation countries and discussion. And it's a lot of fun. We've traveled all over American this part of America. Now, Key Club is a community service club. So this year, even though there's been complete lockdown, they decided that together they made care packages for the frontline doctors and nurses. Last year, they planted over 1,000 trees across my city. And the years before that, they've done countless other service projects. It's a great club. Um, it's just something that makes you feel good. They've always done a great job at it. And now AP classes. AP classes are college level courses on the high school level. They're a lot harder than their non AP equivalents. But with that comes is you get free college credit or reduced college credit. Uh, it's representative of a introduction class at the college level, and if you do pass the test at the end of the year, most colleges will say as if you had done that class, you won't have to take it in college. There have been plenty of people who have only had to go to 2 or 3 years of college because they've had so much AP credit. Now, this is the list of all AP classes available. It ranges wide variety from language to computer science to arts. There's one for everyone. But I would like to point out that I have never heard of a school that has offered every single AP class. My school offers the most in Western Kentucky, and we still only have about half or 3/4 of these classes. But most schools will have a wide variety of AP classes, and I would highly recommend taking an AP class just because of the difficulty. And if you want to go to university in America, I think it would be a good representation of the difficulty. Uh, as far as yeah. Now, these have been my three favorite classes. I've taken six AP classes over my 2 years of high school that I've taken. AP Human Geography is just about the world and how each country interacts with every other person. And AP US History was a really fun one. I completely learned all new things about my country that I never knew. Uh, and then AP Psychology was a lot of fun. It taught about the brain, and it I learned stuff I've never known before. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I would highly recommend any AP class. The science ones are probably the hardest, so if you want that challenge, you might want to go for that. But that is about all for the American experience. So thank you so much, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it.
All right, cool, Sam. I hear a lot of AP class fact. I know it's difficult, but what Sam said, it's okay if you guys want to prepare before you want to go to university because the difficulty is not as much different from the AP class. So it's really cool, guys. We know about how Sam survived in American high school, how he spent his time in his key club, in his Model United Nation club. So if you guys want to ask question more, like you want to send more sharing about his experience, his sport experience, or his academic, please don't forget to asking a question in the comment section below, and don't forget to mention your name and your school. We also have the beautiful speaker also in here is Zoe Chen. Zoe, you're here? Yeah.
Hello.
All right. So I think Zoe, you just can do the presentation, please, because we wait about your presentation. Please, Zoe.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your
Okay,
screen.
great.
Cool.
Alright. Halo, nama saya Zoe. Tahun ini saya akan masuk kelas 11. Di SMA ada 4 kelas. There's 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Dan ini keluarga saya, ibu, bapak, kakak laki-laki, ipar, dan anjing saya. Saya tinggal di Rochester, Minnesota, di Bingtown ini. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, so nama SMA saya Century High School. Foto ini di luar Century. Century cukup besar, ada kira-kira 1.600 murid. Dan sekolah dari rumah hanya 3 menit. Itu dekat sekali, jadi saya bisa bangun 15 menit sebelum kelas mulai. Nama lingkungan saya Century juga, because it was built in the same year as my high school. And so it's like the neighboring neighborhood next to my high school. And ini kantin dan ini logo Century. Our school mascot is a panther. I think in Indonesian it's called macan. Dan di foto ini kalian bisa lihat logo, but it's made out of people. So slide ini tentang semangat sekolah atau school spirit. There are school chants that we say during Pet Fest and permainan American football. Ini band sekolah. Band adalah aktivitas yang paling populer di SMA. Ini foto di Bear Creek. So every December, we raise money for Bear Creek charity with many different activities like bake sales, penny wars, restaurant fundraisers, and almost every club in my school is involved in raising money for Bear Creek charity. Every high school in my city also does fundraisers, but they do it for different charities. And this is American football and homecoming, which I will talk about now. So setiap October, Century has homecoming. Arti homecoming adalah yang former student kembali ke SMA mereka. Homecoming merayakan mereka dan SMA-nya untuk merayakan kami punya hari-hari berdandan, so dress up days. So in this picture, they were dressing up as Hawaii, in a Hawaii theme. So like the luau and the touristy shirts. Dan kami punya permainan American football. Dan sekolah tari, so a homecoming dance. So on this day, everyone dresses up in like dresses and suits, and they go out to eat. They go out to eat dinner, and then they go to the homecoming dance. And then we also have a homecoming parade for our school. All the fall sports have their own parade float, and so in the parade, the floats throw out candy for people on the streets, and so it's just a really fun time. For tennis, this is our float. I'm not sure if my mouse is on the right spot, but yeah, that's me. And yeah, and we also vote for homecoming king and queen. This was our 2019 homecoming king and queen. Okay, so olahraga di SMA Amerika populer sekali. Ini semua olahraga di SMA saya. Ada tenis, berenang, menari, American football, sepak bola, berlari, golf, bola volley, gymnastic, dan banyak lagi. And I know a lot of my friends do sports every single season. It's just a very popular thing in America. And so you can see there's a huge long list of sports you can sign up for. So ini kelas-kelas saya, setiap tahun sekolah saya mau kami punya kelas-kelas yang berbeda. So our school really wants us to have a variety of classes every year. Tahun lalu saya punya American literature, pre-calculus, health, Spanish or bahasa Espanol, chemistry or kimia, AP US history, and AP statistics. And then tahun ini, I hope that I can have these classes. My school hasn't made my schedule yet, so I'm not sure that I'll get all of these. But there are a lot of AP classes in 11th grade. Like Sam said, class AP tingkat kuliah, so it's college level course. And it's yang lebih sulit daripada kelas regular, so it's a lot harder than regular classes. And setiap Mei kami punya tes, AP tests to get credit kuliah. The scores range from 1 to 5, but only scores from 3 to 5 can get college credit. So ini kalender sekolah untuk tahun ini. Sekolah akan mulai 2 September. Dan kami punya liburan selama setiap musim. So we have breaks for every single season, like fall break, winter break, spring break, winter break and spring break are about 1 to 2 weeks long. And then in May, we have AP tests. And then I'm very tired during May because I'm always studying for my AP tests and for my finals. And it's just a really hectic really hectic month. And then lalu di Juni, sekolah selesai, and then we have a very long summer break for about 3 months. So ini keseharian di sekolah. Jam 7 saya makan sarapan. Saya suka makan roti dengan alpukat dan garam dan merica. Apakah kalian pernah coba itu? Saya belajar dari guru saya di Indonesia, drinking a sweet avocado drink, I think with chocolate, is a very popular thing. In America, avocado is more of like a salty thing, like guacamole or like avocado toast. And then jam 7:40 kelas mulai. Semua hari saya lelah sekali karena saya biasanya tidur jam 12. So I don't really get that much sleep during the school year, which I hope I can improve upon this year. And saya punya 1 jam untuk makan siang. This is the school lunches at my school. I usually bring my own lunch, but sometimes when I don't have time to pack it, I'll eat school lunch. And we also have ice cream. Um, and every day I have an class and one open hour. So open hour, I have the freedom to do anything I want. I usually study in the library and do my homework. And then jam tiga class selesai. So ini aktivitas ekskul saya suka bermain tenis dan saya di tim tenis SMA. Untuk sekarang kami masih akan punya tennis season musim gugur ini. They're gonna have a social distance, but they could cancel our season if the pandemic worsens in Rochester. And I'm also on the debate team. I'm the debate co-captain this year. Kami punya banyak turnamen di musim gugur. Saya harus bangun jam 5, but I think it's very worth it. It's a very, I always find debate to be really fun, even though I'm very tired. I talk about me being tired a lot. Okay. And then this year, we're going to have an online season, most likely. And I'm also on the Asian American Leadership Association. And so we do a lot of Asian American activism. Dan saya di tarian China, so I'm in Chinese dance, and I really, really love it. I think it's so such a the dances that we do are from all over China. I think they're all really beautiful. Dan setiap minggu saya mengajar matematika. So I really like to teach math through this nonprofit organization in my high school, not my high school, but my city. Okay, so selama pandemi, hobi saya adalah mengajar melukis, bermain piano, and you can see anjing saya bisa bermain piano juga. I'm just kidding. And then keluarga saya suka mendaki dan mendayung kano di taman. So there are many state parks in Minnesota, and then also the neighboring state, Wisconsin, and we like to go there almost every single weekend. And it's a lot of fun during the summer. And then I can also sleep in. So karena pandemi, murid-murid di sekolah saya akan belajar di rumah. So the name of us full-time learning at home is called distance learning model. Tapi anak kecil akan belajar di sekolah dan rumah. So they will have a hybrid model for the little kids. So they'll spend like 2 or 3 days learning at school and 2 or 3 days learning at home. And so they split the class up into halves so that not many people are going to school at once. And then selama pandemi, setiap sekolah melakukan curbside pickup untuk buku, laptop, dan makanan. So di Minnesota, musim dingin sekali. Kami selalu punya hari salju setiap musim dingin. So we have lots of snow days every winter. I think 2 years ago, we had a whole week where we didn't go to school because it was just snowstorming every single day. And then kalau ada terlalu banyak salju atau es, school's canceled. And murid-murid suka memprediksi hari salju. So I have a lot of friends that like to go on the snow day calculator and see whether or not we're gonna have a snow day. And then kami senang di pagi kalau ada hari salju. Kalian bisa lihat yang musim dingin lama sekali. So winter is very long in Minnesota. We have snow from like October all the way to even May. And the months that we don't have snow is very short. And so, yeah, and my dog likes to play in the snow a lot. Okay. So I think that's all from me from today. Terima kasih banyak for listening. And yeah, I think we can transition to the next. I will stop sharing. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Zoe, for your presentation. It's really cool. And also, we can see a lot of fact in United States, especially in academic. Also, guys, we right now in the Q&A section, but I have a question especially to Zoe and Sam because before they do a presentation, especially they mix bahasa and English. So it's like, wow, in Indonesia, we call you as guys as a bule. Like, wow, bule can speak Indonesia. It's really interesting. So I want you guys to tell experience how you guys can learn about Indonesia language, especially. Probably can be in the same first, please tell the experience about how you can speak Indonesia, speak bahasa especially. How can you guys can speak bahasa? Same?
Well, as you might know, we were part of a thing called Nisli Y, and we were supposed to actually travel to Indonesia to, study the language in its uh, country, country of origin. Sorry, but as you well know, we are in a global pandemic, and that is not possible. So, what the great folks at Nisli Y did was they allowed us to learn the language from our own home. And so, for 5 weeks, plus 4 weeks of pre session, we spent about 2 to 3 hours a day learning the language from teachers who grew up speaking Indonesian. And it was a great experience. We also had cultural classes. We made batik and we did some Indonesian cooking, and it was an amazing experience. It's something I'll never forget, and I am so glad that I've spent my pandemic time learning Pashna Indonesian.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Sam. So there is about this pandemic, so you do it as an online, but it's okay. You still have a time to visit Indonesia sometimes. And also Zoe, how about Zoe? Zoe have fluent Indonesia. I can hear, okay, nama saya Zoe, ini sekolah saya. Ini saya punya 4 bersaudara. So it's really good as a native Indonesia. You sounds like native. So I'm so interesting how you guys can speak bahasa. How about you, Zoe?
Yeah, so I had the same experience as Sam, and I also got to practice a lot with my peer leader, Fina. Just like practice, we like text each other all the time, and then we also have 2 calls per week. I also found that I learned Indonesian a lot faster than I expected. Just because I feel like Indonesian for me is a little bit easier to learn than like a language like Mandarin Chinese. And also, I found that Indonesian has a lot of words kind of similar to, if not like the same spelling as English. And so I feel like that's a bit helpful with learning vocabulary. But yeah, I really enjoyed Nestle Y this year, even though it was online. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
Okay. Thank you, Zoe. Totally agree because when I want to study, I want to know how to speak in English. It's be really helpful because we have the same type. I mean, like we have the same alphabet, like Latin. So it's feel like oh, I just need to learn more about the English especially. Okay, so we have the questions from the students or the people who watch our streaming, live streaming. So fun fact, it's live in the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also Instagram. So the first questions, it's about the academic guys. It's about the assignment. So they ask you about how about the assignment, especially about the paper test. It seems so hard and frequently given to the students. Please give us the tips and trick about it. So basically they just from the sajada she asked you guys a question how you guys manage the time when you guys do the paperwork because it's a lot of time or is it frequently given to you, so how you tips and trick. Probably first to Zoe can answer.
Yeah, so during the school year, I make sure to take advantage of any moment I have in class, and also my open hour that I have to try and get my schoolwork done because that night I usually also have an extracurricular activity going on. So yeah, just make the most out of the time that you have. And I also even do my homework during lunch sometimes. And I think it's worth it because I can go to sleep earlier if I have my work done, and then have a better night's rest. And then the next day, I can like my brain's functioning a little bit better at school. So yeah, I guess that's my advice.
All right, so you need to sacrifice your lunchtime, right? Because you do your homework. Really? Okay. Never mind. How about you, Sam? How can you or you just, oh no, I will do the homework the day before. I don't plan like a week before. I just the day before, okay, or an hour before. We don't know. So how about you, Sam? You tips and trick to do the working paper.
Well, I have definitely had my fair share of last minute homework completion.
Oh,
Uh, I think any high school student has, but I definitely find just trying to stick to a schedule, which is very hard in a pandemic when everything is just up in the air and always changing. But I always, when in school, I kind of like Zoe, I try and take advantage of those. You know, if I get to class a few minutes early, I can knock out a few problems of tonight's homework, whatever. But I also find that if it doesn't take long to study for any standardized test, no matter if it's AP or not, if you are 100% focused and can really try and take in the material, you can spend 1 hour fully focused, or you can spend 4 hours that aren't super focused. And I think you'll get equivalent results. So whenever I study, I really try and focus on the material. And I've also been doing standardized tests since first grade. So it is something that comes more naturally. But the first time I took an AP class, the first test, I scored awful. I think I got half of them right, honestly. And so that was a wake up call for me. And that is what taught me how to study is I had to sit down. And it was and learn the material. And that was something that sounds easy, but there's so much material that you just have to sit down and really focus. And I had a hectic schedule with clubs and sports, so there are some nights that I did an all nighter, which is where I would study or or early into the morning hours.
cool. So you have the alpha score. So you believe it's the wake up call, and yeah, that totally agree, guys. So even Sam and Zoe still struggling in school, so we are the same. So it's okay about the working paper test. Also, we go to next question. It's from Indonesian. They ask you guys about was learning bahasa Indonesia is challenging. So if it is challenging, how you tips and trick to can fluent in Indonesia, or how you guys can still have motivation to learn speaking in Indonesia. Was it challenging or no? And please give the tips and trick and tell about your experience from Zoe, probably.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, it wasn't too difficult and like as I expected learning a language. Like I've learned Spanish and Chinese before, and I feel like Indonesian language is maybe like a lot more flexible in how you can structure things. And I think the biggest thing for me was just talking to my peer leader and also immersing myself through reading stories or watching videos, even if I didn't understand a lot of it at the time. But it's really good to immerse yourself in that because you can learn a lot of new things, even if you don't understand it like the first time. And so, yeah, I really hope that someday I can visit Indonesia and my Bahasa Indonesia can be pretty good and then I can communicate with people. And so, yeah, I think that's my motivation right now.
All right, thank you, Zoe. Yeah, you will visit Indonesia, and I will happy be your travel guide tour. Okay, hi Zoe, and also Sam. All right, how about you, Sam?
I kind of have a different experience from Zoe. I actually really struggled with learning the language. language. Before this, the only other language that I have seriously studied is French, um, which came easier to me in a way. But I am not a natural language learner at all. And so a program like this that's, so long and, you learn so much material so quickly, I really struggle with that. And I think it kind of brought me back to that first AP class is what it felt like, is that I had to sit down and I had to learn how to study. And so I think this program has really helped me with learning how to study language just in general. And I think that I think I would really love to go to Indonesia and really, put my language to the test.
All right, cool. Yeah. So there's the experience about Sam and Zoe about their experience to speak Indonesia. We also have a question from the Sukasa. I think it's from she said, do they have Japanese language learning in United States or you in high school? Or you guys have like what's the foreign language you guys have? You can explain it. Sam first.
So each high school is going to have different languages. Almost every single high school in America is going to have Spanish. That's probably the most common. My high school has three languages. It has Latin, Spanish, and French. We're actually one of the only French. We're one of the only high schools in Western Kentucky that actually teaches French. Uh, but I'm gonna say Japanese is a pretty uncommon one. I haven't heard of any high school in my region that does teach Japanese, though I have heard of some Chinese and German are for more uncommon languages.
All right. So for your information, Sam is in the Kentucky state in the United States. I do believe every state have different policy about the education or the foreign language, but it's about the same. How about in the Zoe? How about in Minnesota? Are they have like Japanese language in there, or how about you, Zoe?
So for my school, we don't have that many languages offered. It's kind of the same as Sam. We have Latin, German, French, and Spanish. Spanish classes are always really full. A lot of people want to learn Spanish. But for Japanese, I do know it is offered. Just because I think from Nick from the Nestle Y program, he says that he's learning Japanese at his school. So it is offered in some areas, I guess.
All right, thank you. I hope this question from Sukasa it's answered. Sam and Zoe is answer your question. Okay, we have a plenty question in here, so I will just ask you a question, guys. First, it's from Marcel Jonathan. He said, "Hi, how do we can introduce ourselves as Indonesia and get to know American youth?" So basically, we're from Indonesia. It's so many exchange students, so many students who want to study in the USA, and we just confused how to adapt with American youth, how to adapt with your guys' activities. So you guys have like tips and trick. If you guys meet Indonesian people, or if you guys meet foreigner, how we can get along with America? From Zoe first.
Um, I think Americans are very welcoming, especially if you're coming from a different country. We might find that really interesting. Like we might ask you about your experiences. I know we had a German foreign exchange student come to my school, and I was friends with her, and we weren't super close friends at all, but like I did talk to her once in a while. She's very nice. I guess just talk to people, and definitely join clubs and sports. Those are a huge thing in America, and that's a huge way to make friends, and to just get to know people. Um, yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Yeah, Americans I think are very friendly.
Yep, totally agree. Also, about the Zoe, if you guys an Asian students, I mean like in high school students, please join sport. Do like same swimmer or just join sport because it will you guys will have a lot of friends. Trust me. How about you, Sam? How we as Indonesian to get along with American?
Well, it is my personal belief that I think making friends in high school, or the easiest way to make friends in high school, is to join a club or sport. It is those hours that you spend with those people really make you bond. And I think, like, when, especially in a sport, when you're working your hardest and everyone's exhausted, that's a really big bonding point. And I think that's where a lot of friendships happen. I also think that just trying to reach out to people. Everyone, just be nice, be friendly. I, most American students are going to be, you know, could, are friendly. There's always going to be the one or two who aren't, but just try and interact with people, trying to meet people, and join a sport or club. That's my recommendation.
Right. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, just be nice, join a club, join a sport. It's also the tips for people who want to get along with American or who want to adapt in new environment. It also have like the following question uh from the Zikra Handika. From the speaker's perspective, do you guys have any advice or basic tips for the upcoming Asian students, especially from Indonesia, to survive in American high school? Like how to make a friends when you have no one that you know, how to survive in the academic life, especially when English is not your first language. Thank you. So basically it's like the same with the last question, but they want to more specific if you guys have an action students and how to survive in American high school. From Sam first.
Well, I think that a great way to survive in high school is to just make sure and get your priorities in check while you're in school. Like, you should try to be completing your homework, or like doing well in class before moving on to other things like extracurricular activities. And I think that you really bond with your classmates as well. I don't want to say that the only way to make friends is joining a club, 'cause that's just not true. But I think if you are, especially in like an AP class, I find that those tend to be like strong bonds just because of the difficulty of the class. But I think if you do well in school, I think that's just a great way to survive. Just because that's the point of school, is the learning. And I think if you can do that, I think the other things will fall into place.
Right, right. Academic. I can see like Sam is like academic, academic students that join a lot of AP class, right? Zoe, like he's joined a lot of AP class, and like, oh, I know, like AP it's advanced, guys, advanced. So we have like general or basic, but like name it psychology, and Sam just learned AP psychology. So it's totally true. All right. How about you, Zoe? What's your tips and trick to survive?
So I think in middle school, maybe the beginning of high school, it was kind of hard for me to find people that I really, I guess, resonated with, and um, I guess I just wasn't close with anyone. I still struggle with that. I feel like a lot of people struggle with things with like friends, but I know you for sure at some point will find a group of people to hang out with. Just I think the biggest thing is to reach out to people and don't be afraid to reach out to people. I actually kind of wrote about this in an English essay last year. It was a social commentary, and so I was just talking about not being afraid of rejection, because I guess there's nothing to be scared about, and whatever happens, happens, and yeah, just be resilient and all of that.
Yes, Zoe. Whatever happens, it happens. Just don't be afraid. Cool. Also, we have a question. I mean, like, students and the people who watch this is really want to can fluent in English, especially, and get to know how to learn English. And we have a question: how to understand English reading quickly, such as a journal. I think it's needed in everything, especially in the terms of education. Can you guys give us tips and trick based on your experience? I mean, can give tips and trick how to understand English quickly, how to understand the advanced English and journal or in the news, because it's different, right, about the English in study and English as we in the like our daily conversation. So even you as a native, how you guys tips and trick to the beginner like us, mostly in Indonesia. From Zoe first.
Yeah, so my mom actually didn't really know any English until she was maybe in her 20s, and now she's like fluent, and she doesn't really have an accent either. She's very good English speaker. And even today she's still trying to improve her English. I know she watches lots of like the news, and she watches lots of English TV shows. She also reads like English articles, and she makes sure that like I can hear sometimes in the room like repeating stuff that people on the TV say. I think something with some with languages is that sometimes they're just like there's special cases where you just don't understand why a sentence is structured in a particular way. I think um I think I think, like, don't question it too much, like, don't try to get into the nitpicky about it. I think the biggest thing is just to practice and to hear, and then, soon you'll, become fluent.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. It's a fun fact because Zoe's mom's is tried to speak English in the 20, but right now it's just fluent. So guys, whatever your age, it still have the chance and an opportunity to fluent in English, because English is international language, so you guys can survive in this as a global citizenship. Also, how about you, Sam? What your tips and trick to learning speak English?
Well, I am a natural English speaker, so I never had to like study to learn English, I guess. But some tips that I did from learning Indonesian is I found that watching something that you are familiar with, like a show or a favorite movie, and just trying to figure out what is going on or what they're saying was really helpful, especially because they usually will go at a fast rate of speaking, unlike class or online learning. I also found that I had to translate a lot, just using Google Translate to figure out what things meant, and I think that was helpful in a way, just because once you do it so many times, like you do learn the understanding. Um, but I think, like Zoe said, just practice makes perfect, and just trying to always, just maybe switch your phone to English for a few days and see if you can understand the text. I know my brother did that learning French. Uh, so I think different things work for different people. Just I get just practice is all I have to say on that.
All right, thank you, Sam. Totally agree, guys, because right now in this globalization era, we do have Google Translate, we do have a lot of facility that we can learn how to speak English. My experience to learning English, like before I go to United States, I totally like don't have an confidence to speak English. But when I just jump to new environment and everyone just speak English, so they force me to speak English. So yeah, I try to understand English. And in the United States especially, they just don't care about your grammar when you guys speaking, because the weakness of Indonesia people, we focus on the grammar things. So if you want to speak English, we just afraid if we don't use the correct grammar. So it's really I think it's really like a boundaries for us to explore more, to have a confidence to speaking English. Many people good in the writing skill, in the listening skill, but they don't have a confidence to speak in English, especially Indonesia. Are you guys have the perspective about what is the grammar as a native language are is really important, or what is different about, oh, in the professionals English or in the professional meeting you guys need to speak in in like in the Model United Nation, you need to speak English with a correct grammar, or you guys have like the different to use English in with the correct grammar or not, or like okay, it's just daily conversation. Probably with Sam first.
So I am from the South of America, which is uses a lot more informal grammar and speaking. But in my experience in Model UN, especially on the national level, that it's usually perfect grammar. But those things you just kind of pick up naturally. It's not like someone. It's not like I've studied like okay, like here's perfect language. It there is a difference between a professional and casual setting, and I think that just comes with experience, most likely. I mean, but I think if if you don't have perfect grammar, you're gonna fit right in. In most settings, and I think that's when you know a true language is when you can speak it casually instead of very professional.
Yep, 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 yep. I like the I like the word from the Sam. You guys, if you want to know the language, just know when you guys speak casually, because it doesn't matter if you guys speak professionally. It's a good tips, guys, and a good statement. If we as Indonesia want to learn speak English, just try, because practice make perfect. So yeah, I think it's important to we have the confidence first, and also we can just fix all of the professional language or professional grammar like that. How about you, Zoe? What your perspective or your opinion about like the professional grammar about in English?
Yeah, so same with Sam. I think like for maybe things like debate and things like that, it's good to have good grammar. But I think as you're learning a new language, as you're learning a new language, just don't be afraid of messing up. Just say it, and I feel like people who know the language, like are maybe like fluent speakers, native speakers, will understand, and um, they can maybe help you a little bit with it. But yeah, I think people are still going to understand you, even if you don't have perfect grammar, for sure. So just don't be afraid to just practice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I hope it answered your question. Is questions from yes, is question from me, especially about that grammatical. And also, I also have a question about your best experience as an American high school. Can you guys explain to us what is your unforget moment in high school, like Zoe talk, and like it's about like homecoming, or in the competition, or in the in the school trip, or in the game, probably as a sport you guys have like the experience that you guys think, oh, it's my best experience as American students or American high school students. What is your unforgettable moment from Zoe?
Um, so I'm not like huge into like the homecoming stuff, but I'm still participating in it. I think more for me, this is like I think based on like personality. Um, I think for me, it's more of like my activities and my clubs, because I spend most of my time doing that, and it's just so nice to collaborate with people. Like for the debate team, we're staying up late working on our case plans. Right now, we actually have a debate camp, and it was just so fun to plan a debate camp for kids. And then we're all like instructors, so it's just a new experience for us. And just doing things with community, I think, is just huge for me. I did go on a school trip when I was in eighth grade to Washington, D.C. and New York City. That was a really good experience because I don't think I spend time with my school friends like that. Like if not for that trip. And so yeah, I think just spending time with people and getting to experience new things with them. That's the best high school moments for me.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. I also have the experience go to Washington D.C. I also Abraham Lincoln State. I saw the White House. I mean, like, yeah, it's the capital city of United States. So it's like Indonesia is like Jakarta. So it's really cool in Washington D.C. It's my best experience, I guess, in the United States. How about you, Sam? What is your best experience while you be American high school student?
So my absolute best experience as a high school student came right before quarantine. It was this February, I believe. And it was when I went to my state swimming competition. I'm wearing the sweatshirt. Uh, I we my all of my swimming friends, there were 8 or 9 of us, got hotel rooms that were completely paid for by our school, and we got to like travel like 4 hours away, and it was this big 3-day event. We all got so close, and it was just a bunch of fun. We were eating all of our meals together. We were swimming, and we all did great. Like most of us got personal records, and it was just an insanely fun time. It was just 3 days of fun. I mean, there was stress obviously because it's our big swimming competition, but it was so much fun, and it really inspired me as a swimmer to try harder and to go because I want to go again, and so that was my most fun experience. And I'm absolutely excited for next year to do it.
Yep. I also excited to hear about your story, Sam. If you still do it next year, so looking forward for your experience. All right, we also have a question. What is your favorite subject in school, and what is your most hated subject in school? From Zoe, and why? And why you guys? Why it's be your favorite, and why you don't like that? From Zoe first, probably. Maybe from
Uh,
Zoe. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes every year, I think, based on my teacher and my classmates. I think last year maybe was my American literature class. Just because I think just because we got to write about a lot of interesting things, like we did a social commentary, and we got to do like read a lot about a lot of literature that I've never like read before. Like we focused a lot on like themes like the American dream, um, yeah, and stuff like that. And I think the American literature was my favorite because we got to have discussions a lot. We actually had a debate one time. Um, I think that's something that also with AP US history, I think the same thing, that being able to have discussions with my classmates and my teacher. I really, really liked my American literature teacher. So I think that's also why it was my favorite class.
What is your most hated class and why? All right.
I don't know. I'm really not sure. Maybe okay. Yeah, maybe my Spanish class last year. Just because it's not because of the Spanish language or anything like that. I think it was more of just I don't really learn languages the way we did in Spanish. Like we did a lot of like fill in like worksheets, and for tests, like it was just like filling in the blank and stuff like that. And I don't think that really advanced my Spanish speaking skills at all. And so I don't think I'll take be taking Spanish anymore in high school. But yeah, that was probably why I didn't really enjoy it. Just because the way that we learned the language didn't really fit with me.
Cool. Thank you, Zoe. And how about you, Sam?
So my favorite subject, and that's a hard one, but it's either going to be my French class, uh, or yeah, I'm going to say my French class. My teacher is blind, actually, but he traveled to France. Yeah, so he has a degenerative eye disease. I forgot the name of it, but pretty much when he went to France as a college student, he could still see very little. He said it was the equivalent of looking through a toilet paper roll. through one eye. And the experiences he told about being a pretty much blind person in France were amazing. And that really inspired me to learn the language. He talked about like listening to the choir at these big churches, or like going to the Louvre and seeing these famous paintings, but just hearing the people talk about it because he really couldn't see that well. And he's just a very inspiring person. And I think that really goes to show like how much influence a teacher has on the class. I think if you have a bad teacher, you're going to have a bad experience in a class. And if you have a great teacher, it's going to be the best class you've ever taken. And that was my experience with French. And again, my worst class was, or my least favorite class was probably freshman year, my geometry class. I had a teacher that my learning style and her teaching style didn't really go together. But and it wasn't. I mean, I'm not a big math fan, but I'm not against it either. I think it's a great subject. But it just was. I really struggled to learn just because how I learned and how she taught were different. Uh, so that was just one thing, and we didn't connect very well, and that's why I think I didn't like the class. Kind of like Zoe said about her Spanish class. Um, so getting a teacher that you really like is sometimes important to how you like a class. I don't, and so it's yeah.
All right, thank you, Sam. Yeah, it's different based on what you guys expect and what your guys' favorite. It's many factors like it's about the teacher, it's also about the difficulty about the subject itself. So it's the perspective from Zoe and Sam as American high school students right now. Okay, we also have a question from Daryl Marsudini. He asked a question: what is your motivational quotes to not giving up and to not giving up in learning? So basically, uh, he asked you guys about what the quotes make you keep motivated. From Zoe.
Um, for quotes, I I don't think I really have any quotes. I guess more like mindset. Just knowing that school is not everything. Obviously, like school is not everything. Getting a good education is good. And learning is good. I think what motivates me is just that I think that everything is for a greater purpose. Um, and so, yeah, I think also just enjoying learning, enjoying the learning process. Yeah, I don't really have any quotes to share because I can't come up with any off the top of my head. But yeah, that's
It's okay though, because you already give us the mindset like school isn't everything, even you guys go to school every day, but it's a lot of like soft skills and knowing new people, know how you can have a good attitude. It's like from not beside from the school. So it's really a good mindset because as a young generation, we should explore more. We should explore as much as possible. Nice, Zoe. How about you, Sam?
So one of my favorite quotes is a quote by Mae West, and it's "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." Um, and I really like that because I think it shows that just trying to make the most of the time we have on this planet is always necessary. But my biggest thing is mental health. I think that comes before anything. I think that if you are not happy, or you are not like you don't feel well as like mentally, I think that is more important than school or anything, just because you cannot be successful if you are not like taking care of yourself. So I am, I'm someone who tends to push myself, and sometimes have to take a step back and be like, is this really mentally healthy for me? Do I need a break? Do I need to do this? Do I need to take a night off and just sit down and watch a TV show just so I can, just not think about anything difficult? So that's my recommendation, is just watch your mental health, and, you know, just but also, try and push yourself, try and make the most. I think there's a lot of fun in the more difficult things in life.
Cool. Yeah, I totally agree, especially in this pandemic situation. Our mental health is really important because everything is just online. We have to discipline of our schedule, and it's really, yeah, we should have a good mental health itself. And also from the questions, from the question box, it's a lot of you guys is asking about how to study in USA. Is have the question from Hidayatin Norwawi. How do we prepare ourselves to continue our study in the USA? What must be prepared? Please share the information explanation. And it's already answered from the at American YouTube that you guys can always visit the website of at america.org.id/education and USA, and always looking for their social media. So me as a moderator also will explain to you at the end of the session. So if you guys have a question to Zoe and to Sam, because it's really a special event and special time. Just please ask a questions about to Zoe and Sam. Also, we also have a questions to Zoe and Sam. It's about how you guys can know that your priority and what is your main goal right now. I mean, like you guys in American high school, are you guys have any plan to go to university or what major you want to take and how you guys can prepare from right now? I mean, like how American students need to prepare to go to higher education, because I do believe you guys need to do SAT and ACT exam, and how you guys prepare from right now. From Zoe.
Yeah, I am preparing for my SAT subject test just because it's necessary if you want to go to college. Um, I feel like I don't really have any solid plans as of right now. I do know I want to go to university. I think for me, my mindset's usually just take things as they come. It is good to sort of plan out things, but they don't always turn out the way you want. So just expect that they're not always going to turn out exactly how you planned it. Um, yeah, I think yeah, life is um, not like all about like college and stuff like that. I think for my friends especially, we struggle with sort of making college like the hugest thing in our lives when it shouldn't be. It's just I think it's just about getting a good education. Um, I think for college though, like it would be good to start looking at if you're like a junior or a senior, start looking at like maybe virtual tours and like what campus life is like. Um, and so then you'll know kind of where you'll maybe fit in, where you want to apply. It is good to do things ahead of time. So yeah.
Thank you, Zoe. I pray for your best and wish you luck. How about you, Sam?
So I am kind of with Zoe in that right now I'm a junior or 11th grader. So I have about one more year before I really have to make college essays and applications. But I'm looking at colleges. What I have done is I've set my colleges into three different categories. I've done what's called like dream schools, which are, you know, I'm the highest level schools that I want that are are most likely not gonna happen, like Harvard or Stanford, those places. I have my reach schools, which are more attainable, but still, iffy. That are hard to get into. Kind of like George Washington, for example. And then I have like my safe schools. So schools that like there are certain schools in America where once you reach a certain threshold, you get a certain score on the SAT or ACT, you have a certain GPA that you automatically can be enrolled to, and you have 100% chance of getting in. So for me, that's my in-state schools, which are schools in my state, Louisville and Kentucky. Um, so that's what I've been doing. I still don't know where I want to go to college. It's really, if I get accepted into one of my dream schools, then that would be amazing. Or if I get accepted into one of my reach schools, that would be amazing. And even my in-state schools are amazing. It's about whatever. But right now, I'm just trying to do as much as I can for college application. Right now, I'm studying the ACT as much as I can to boost that score. My and now where I come from, the SAT isn't as popular, but I will be taking that hopefully relatively soon. But I think just you know, if you see an experience, I think take it. I think anything on a college application is great, and just try and push yourself is all I can is my words of wisdom.
All right, Sam. Thank you. Wish you luck, and I wish for your best also. Okay, guys. We also have questions about American high school holiday. So we do believe you guys have different holiday like winter break, like summer break, or I don't know. I don't exactly know. Can you guys share how many holiday in American high school, and what you guys usually do in that holiday? I mean, like from the winter break, obviously you guys want to Christmas. You guys want to celebrate Christmas, or can you guys just explain how many holiday in the American high school and what you guys usually do in every holiday? From Zoe?
Yeah, so in my presentation, I kind of had a little bit of that. We do have holidays for every season of the school year, like fall, winter, spring. I'd say winter and spring are the biggest holidays of the school year, because they're like 1 to 2 weeks. That's like pretty long. For Christmas, yes, we do celebrate Sorry, for winter break, we celebrate Christmas. I think a lot of people celebrate Christmas even if they're not Christian. So it's just a huge thing anyway, like to have a tree maybe to exchange presents. Our the Bear Creek thing I was talking about is like the week before Christmas. I think it's just like all about like giving and I guess spending time with people. Um, and yeah, winter break. Yeah, I like to spend time with my family. Last year I spent time in Baltimore with my brother and my sister-in-law. And so yeah, during winter break in America, you can see a lot of like decorations, um, green, red, and white like colors, and like bells and like wreaths and trees and stuff like that. And then spring break. Spring break, I guess for me is more just like um well for every break is like for rest. But for spring break I also go to maybe on like a family trip, or I know a lot of um high school programs might happen during spring break as well. I know my school trip happened during spring break. So yeah, I think a winter break is more for like a celebration, and spring break's more for if you want to travel or if you just need to take a break. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Zoe. There is different experience, right, about the winter break and spring break. How about you, Sam?
So in high school, there are usually there's two types of breaks, I guess, or really three. Your biggest is always going to be summer break, which is around 2 months. And then throughout the year, they'll sprinkle in or they'll put in like 1 day breaks that might be a certain holiday, like voting day is a big one. So November 3rd, will everyone will be out of school because that's when everyone votes for presidential election. And then Chris or winter break is a time when most people celebrate Christmas, which, like not Joey, Zoe said, is I think at least in America, Christmas has become a lot less of a Christian holiday. It still has lots of Christian ties and whatnot, but I think lots of atheists or people who don't believe in a particular religion still completely celebrate the holiday. So I think that's always popular. A big thing is giving like little gifts to your friends. That's always a lot of fun. Or I know a lot of clubs do like a dirty Santa or like a gift exchange. And then there's like, at least in my region, there's 1 week breaks every semester, every quarter of school. So like when you finish your classes for half of the year, you usually get a break. And so those are always nice. And those are when people usually go to the beach, or sometimes like there'll be school events, like Zoe said. I know the our band last year went to New York, like during one of the breaks, to perform at a big, like, to perform on in New York City. And so I think there are enough breaks to where that feeling of like dread from school, we all have it when we don't want to go to school. It really kind of helps you relax and get motivated for your next set of classes.
Yep, cool. It is a lot of story and experience that we can hear from Sam and Zoe about their holiday experience. All right, guys. I think we will have the last questions to close our session today to Zoe and Sam. I want to ask you guys a question. What is your tips and trick, or what your closing statement to guys, especially Indonesians people who watch this event, this seminar, to pursue their dream, especially if they want to have experience to study in the USA, because I do believe a lot of people want to go to United States, a lot of people want to learn how to speak in English fluently, how to can get education in the USA. What you guys like closing statement or motivational quotes for all young generation that watch this session from Zoe first?
I think as long as you have that motivation, as long as you have that dream, you should shoot for it. I think that's just the biggest thing. I know like sometimes we do things and we don't have that much motivation for, but for the things that we're really passionate about, I think just investing yourself in that. And yeah, again, I said it a lot of times before, but just don't be afraid of failure or quote unquote failure. Things will happen sometimes the way you want. Sometimes they won't happen the way. A lot of times they will happen the way you want, I guess. Um, so yeah, um, I guess that's all for me.
Thank you, Zoe. How about you, Sam?
My little, I guess, tip is America is a very big place, and there's lots of different ideals and motivations and things all over the country. And my big thing is don't be afraid of failure. We've all failed, we've all flopped on everything we've done. And I think that, if something doesn't work out, there's always another opportunity or a different way of doing it. And I think just, I like Zoe said, just if you have the motivation, I think it's great. I think America is a wonderful place. I think dreams can happen here very, and I think it's great, and I highly recommend coming to America to study. I think coming as a high schooler and seeing if you want to come to university here is always a great idea. And I think just sometimes you just take an opportunity and you see where it leads you. And so that's my closing tips. So thank you so much.
Yep, thank you, Sam, and also Zoe for joining us in these sessions. And we have we hear a lot of perspective, we hear a lot of their tips and trick. And you guys, if you still want to know how to get study in the USA, please just stay tuned in their website. And also I will share about the, if you guys especially want to study in the USA, for high school students or for undergraduate or graduate schools, Education USA is have, I mean, like in the at America and in US Embassy also have like Education USA is US Department of State network of over 400 international students advisory centers in more than 170 countries, including in Indonesia. Also, advisor offers accurate, comprehensive, and current information about the range of higher education opportunities available to help international students find their best fit US higher education institution according to their needs, skills, and goals. Because like Zoe and Sam mentioned, is a lot of schools in the USA, so you guys need to know what really fit in your needs, skills, and also goals. Also, Education USA over free one-on-one or group consultation, information session, mentorship programs, pre-departure orientation, and US higher education fair. So if you guys are really confused, oh, am I want to study in here or how if I want to get here, just go to Education USA because they offer free one-on-one or group consultation. Also, Education USA, last but not least, Education USA has 8 centers in Indonesia province located in Aceh, Medan, Jakarta, Malang, Surabaya, and Makassar. Check educationusa.state.gov and go follow their social media for further information. You guys can have a Facebook, Education USA Indonesia. Also have an Instagram, Education USA Indonesia, and the the Twitter also Education Indonesia, and from the website is educationusa.state.gov. So you guys, if have that uh, further information about how to study in USA, just go in there. Also, I want to say thank you, especially to Sam and Zoe who participate and give their time in really early in the morning, guys. You know, like in there is really early in the morning. Thank you. Hopefully, by participate in these events, you guys or as a students or as Indonesian will get information how to win like scholarship, pursue self fund higher education abroad, and prepare to be next generation of policymakers and opinion leaders. Also, it can motivate you to explore more, explore many options for degree to study in the USA and actively have a strong secure purpose in the Pacific region in partnership with the United States. Also, from Sam and Zoe, hopefully your speaking Indonesian skills will be advanced, will be can visit Indonesia, and I'm looking forward to meet you guys in the real life, and also we are welcoming you if you guys want to visit Indonesia. I think that's all for our session today. Thanks for all participate that join and watch this session. I will give it to the MC or to the guide in
All right, thank you so much to all of our speakers and our moderator. We'll see you again next time. Now, the rest of you, please don't go anywhere because I have the name of the winner for our social media quiz. Earlier in this event, I asked you guys, is it true or false that all American students go through 6 years of elementary school, 2 years of middle school, and 4 years of high school? And the right answer is false. Various models of K-12 education exist in the United States education system, and each model divides the 12 grades differently. And our winner for today is at Dinda Azua from Instagram. Congratulations, Dinda. Now, you may be wondering, how can I develop an awesome idea for a place like this? Easy. You can go to our website at www.atmerica.or.id, click Create an Event, and collaborate with us. All proposals coming to us will be reviewed, and your event might be featured here soon. And while you're on our website, feel free to subscribe to our newsletters for weekly event updates sent straight to your inbox. Alright everybody, I think that wraps up this episode. It has been really fun, but unfortunately we have to say goodbye for now. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at ATAmerica for event updates, fun content, and so much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.